Hi there and welcome to Real Life in Real Estate. I'm Mark Peebles, here to help you live your best life and achieve ultimate success. And I'm so glad that you've joined us today because this is a very special episode of Real Life in Real Estate. One that we've never done anything like this before. And that is because we have our first ever guest on the show. Now, Natalie, my producer, has been on the show. My, other friends have been on with me here and there, but not really like today because we have someone very special on the show. His name is Ben Leeson. Ben and I became good friends a couple of years ago when I met his wife showing a condo that we had listed. Come to find out, she's an agent out in Arizona. I then get to know Ben, and we hit it off. Worked through a transaction together, and then we've just been friends ever since. I've actually done a lot of business for Ben's family here in the greater Dayton area where I'm out of, and it just so happens that he is here all the way from Arizona today to join us on Real Life and Real Estate. Welcome to the show, Ben.
Thank you.
I think today is going to be a great day because in the little time that I've known you over the last couple of years, I've learned a lot from you. You have a commanding presence in this business. You have a lot of wisdom, and I'm so excited for our audience to get to share this with us today.
That.
Let's start out. Give me a little bit of history, your real estate history.
How far back do you want to go?
As far back as you, how many years have you been in the business?
We've been in business for 30 years.
Okay.
I was not a licensed realtor when I lived in Miamisburg, but I was still building and buying land and kind of general contracting homes. And then we moved to Phoenix in 1994.
Okay.
Created a real estate business shortly after that.
Okay. So through that time, how many different brokerages you've been with?
2.
Okay.
Yes. We owned our own brokerage for about 10 years. And then about 6 or 7 years ago, we started to travel a lot, spending 8 or 10 weeks on the road. It became too much, done nearly 100 transactions a year, pulling off the side of the road when you had service to, monitor 35 files. So we went back to larger brokerage, which we started at back in the 90s.
Okay. And so you have a team.
Correct. Small team.
How many on your team?
There's actually 2 working agents besides me. That is all.
Okay.
Then we have, obviously, staffs, assistants, marketing staff, transaction coordinators, the basics.
Okay.
So, very small team for the amount of volume that we do, which is rare.
As you progressed in your real estate career, where do you feel like you really hit stride in real estate?
When I stopped focusing on money, that was it, 15 years ago.
Okay.
Changed my whole process and mindset about real estate and realized that it's not about money. It's about being the most professional agent in the market, the best looking product, the best marketing material, the best looking listings, just really knowing what we're doing. My contracting background had a lot to do with that.
Yep.
So to me, that was the big major.
Talk to me about the prior to 15 years ago when it was more about money. Just talk me through that. What was your focus back then, and what effect did that have on the way that you did business?
Well, when I jumped into real estate in Phoenix, I did only new homes to start.
Okay.
My first 400 transactions were new builds.
Wow.
I think at one point I had 38 new builds in escrow at one time.
That's incredible.
Yeah. But back then I also did my own inspections. So I was running around daily with a list of 9 to 10 to 15 homes to see that were at frame stage, pre-drywall, making notes on list and working with superintendents. That's how I created our business of, creating a level service that most people don't provide or don't get into.
Yep.
That was my niche to begin with.
Okay. So when you're get into it a little bit with me though, like that focus on money, because I feel like I've been there in my career as well, where I needed the next deal and I was focused on that. And I think so many realtors,
everyone is.
Yeah, there's a lot of realtors watching this right now that are like desperate for the next deal, and it's all about that money. We need to make a living, but how did that affect the quality of service that you were providing when you were more focused on the money and not the client?
I think looking back now, you can't provide a level of service if you're only focused on the money. I've learned that over the years, and I think the top professional 1% agents all feel the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, a term that you have come back to continually is this professional.
Right.
So help me define for our audience, what is professionalism in this business today?
Oh boy, I think it's today the consumer has iPads, iPhones, Google. So
ChatGPT.
yeah, real scary today.
Yeah.
The consumer today knows more about the real estate market than the majority of the realtors because they can search. What should I ask my realtor? What should my house look like? They can get on and look at all these photos. So if you don't come into someone's life with a purpose and extreme detail, you've already failed.
Yeah.
I can tell you if I'm looking like at local listings, Miamisburg I'm very familiar with, there's listings on there from what you would consider top agents that there's no chance I would have those homes in the market.
Yeah.
Just the lack of detail, the amount of debris, clutter. I think professionalism to me is it's a whole package. As you know, it's what we do with our
Right.
listings. One of our listings is pressure washed before we go on the market. The windows are clean. We do landscape cleanup. It's the whole package.
Now, obviously, we're not getting into what you charge the client for that, but do you charge them extra to do those, or is that part of your service package?
That is part of our package.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you go on a listing presentation, hey, you're going to get all this great service, which I think every agent should be able to get you from point A, listing your house
Sure.
or pre-listing your house, to a closing table. I guess A to Z, right? Get you to the
Correct.
closing table. But it's all of the extras that you do as part of that package that makes you guys who you are. So, how did you develop that over time?
I don't know. I think it's just a mindset change of what can we do to improve our service. And then it's just something we've always done. It started with the new builds, the quality control. Mm-hmm. Every single detail matters. And then it rolled into resale. Once we changed our mindset of going on a listing appointment, begging for a listing, now it's like, this is what's required to work with our team.
Yeah.
This is all the steps we're going to take. And if someone says, we're not going to do that, it's like,
It was
best
nice
of luck
meet
to you. It's not a good fit for us. We'll see you later.
All right, so take me back to that point 15 years ago where you had that change in your mindset from needing the next deal, have to make the money, to I'm going to be a true professional. Like, what changed?
Probably just chasing my tail around every single day. Get up and go as fast as you can every single direction. And then I just sat down and realized that doesn't make sense. We need to provide a higher level of service. And actually, if you do that and you do the right things, then your clients actually market for you.
Yeah. But, I would say, though, because I've always been the same way with wanting to provide that high level of service, but I think there's so many agents out there that right now would say, well, I need the money to be able to afford to provide that higher level of service. What do you say?
Catch-22.
Yep.
Always the same. Younger, I can't get a job because I don't have a car. I can't get a car because I don't have a job.
Right.
Right? It never changes. But somehow the leadership from top down needs to change that mindset for people.
Yeah.
Because our per sale volume is one of the highest in the Phoenix market just because of that.
Yep.
So, I want to focus on $700,000 clients, not $300,000 clients.
Right.
But I'll take those as well. But overall, our averages are way higher than the average because of the level of service we provide.
What's your average in your market?
Right now, we're about 675.
What's the market run? How far above the market are you guys running?
Probably 75 to 100,000.
Okay. Of course, I'm in the greater Dayton market.
Right.
And
I'm
when
familiar with that, too.
I know. And when Ben's referring to, Miamisburg, that's one of the markets here in our greater Dayton market. Not everybody that listens to this show is in our markets. But
Yeah.
but that said, there's probably a lot of markets across the country where they're like, I would kill to have a 675 average
Yeah.
home sale,
And others will say, I would never work in the 675 average.
Yeah.
They're at 2.5.
So
There's a lot of that.
So what would you say to the agent, maybe a young agent that's out there right now that
Right.
says, okay, I want to be like Ben Leeson, which, I say that myself all the time, but they want to be like you, and they want to change their mindset around professionalism, what's the first thing that they need to start doing to become that professional?
Have a business plan.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I've always said then the top realtors in the next 10 years are not yet in business. They're coming. They're not here yet.
That's good.
What have they done? 2 or 3 guys with a degree in finance, business backgrounds. They're coming in with 30-page written business plans of exactly what to do from day one, how many people they're going to call, contacts, contact management, database management. That's where it is.
Yep. 30 years in the business, you still have a business plan?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk to me.
It just changed too, actually.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, talk to me about that. What changed after this many years in the business? What has changed?
The last year, I've done a lot less day-to-day. 2 fantastic team members run the entire business. I've been on the sidelines analyzing for a year.
Okay.
Just sitting back. Reading emails, seeing how they communicate, what title people are saying, reviews, what the listings look like, communication with our title reps and our marketing staff, analyzing. So after 27 years with one title company, we switched 2 months ago.
Oh, wow.
It was a huge, huge switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a mindset change.
Right.
And it was interesting because in this very nice title office, all these executives sitting around talking about money and transaction. I said, whoa. I said, hold on. I said, that's not us. I don't care about any of that. I want the best looking marketing materials you have. I want the best looking listings we can have on the market. I want your title reps, when our clients come in, to tell them they're so fortunate to work with our team. They're the most professional in the industry. That's what I want.
Yep.
I said, we will make money off of that, but I don't want to focus on that. It's like, well, that's a unique approach.
Yeah, so if there's any title companies out there that are listening to this, like that, there's your advice right there. And actually, we've sat in meetings with title companies and said almost the exact same thing to them, because your title, your lender, those are important relationships that can make you look better, one, by the service that they provide,
Correct,
but also by the way that they talk about you as their partner.
But they can't talk about everyone like that because not everyone's the same. So
That's true.
It puts them in an uncomfortable situation. But I give everyone I work with, you have one opportunity to fail. That's all. Then we move on.
You move on that fast. But 27 years with another company, obviously they had to have made mistakes during that time.
Not many.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just time for change.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm edging to retirement this year as well, full retirement.
Right.
So I'm making sure that the business is in great shape before my team takes it over.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so that's a great question, because in the real estate business, it's hard to retire.
Right.
I mean, I just finished a closing today with a guy that is about my age in the business. His mom is 77 years old, and she's still selling houses. My dad is 81 years old and has been a broker in our company, and he has 2 listings coming up right now. I help him with a lot of that stuff, but at the same time, it is hard to retire from real estate. So
it's hard to get away from.
Yeah, what does retirement look like for you?
I've almost been semi-retired for several years, but just cutting my ties completely. I've already taken my name and emails and everything off all of our company information. So you have to search hard to find me.
Yep.
Yeah. But I stay involved on the backside. But retirement is just completely stepping away, which is that is a big mindset change after you've been working for the amount of hours it takes to be successful.
Are you selling your business, or will you still own the business?
The business will go to my number one team manager.
TJ?
TJ.
Yep.
Yeah, she will take over the business.
Okay.
Then I've created a Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful deal with her. We're
That's
dealing
awesome.
perpetuity forever.
Yeah, the perpetuity. Yeah, we love perpetuity, right?
Yeah. So
But
very fair to her and Alina, the other team members. But that'll gradually disappear a percentage to a certain point. So in a matter of so many years, they will 100% own the business.
Yeah.
But we've built a great business, a great company, a great brand.
It's like the golden handoff, right?
Yeah. And it's hard to sell a real estate business. You just can't sell it like a normal business, get 10x the value.
Right.
Right. There's some complicated issues there. But we have a strong business that's worth money, that creates great income.
So
they're
for
happy to
you,
take it
though, I'm
over.
sure 30 years in the business, you know tons of people.
Yes.
Your phone still has to ring.
Yeah.
So what do you do in those situations?
I handle it like I get calls here. Just call TJ, say, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're helping facilitate the relationship
Sure, but
with
you know,
TJ.
your team is only as strong as the people that work for you.
Yep. How long? I know TJ's been with you for a while.
Yes.
How long's she been with
I
you?
think 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We have
she
people on our
really-
team who's been with us for 20 years.
She really has been brought into the mindset that you've created, this professionalism
Yes.
mindset.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's incredible at it.
So then your other team member is Alina.
Alina?
So with Alina, when you bring her in, how do you raise her up to have that mindset?
Basically, I think the first message to her was like, you need to slow down. We don't talk like normal realtors. We don't act like normal realtors. It's a different process that we go by. And she's done very well with that.
So how long did it take her to grasp it? Did she come
Well,
in with
she's still
experience
going.
or was she new?
Some experience, a couple
Okay.
years. Different process, different team, but our process is totally different. She's about a year in so far.
Okay.
Doing very well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So,
But always to learn.
but what's that?
Always more to learn.
Always more to learn. There is. Like, I feel like, 19 years in the business now, hundreds and hundreds of
I
transactions.
thought you were in the business for 40 years.
No, that's my dad, man. And actually, it's 55. No, for me, 40 years. I just turned 46 yesterday. So
Really?
if I had
young
been in
dude.
the business 40 years, I mean, I've been around it my whole life. But no, 19 years in the business, hundreds and hundreds of transactions, and I still see crazy stuff that I'm like, that's never happened before. I just think that that's how this business is.
Yeah.
But I think when you have a professional mindset and you have other people around you who have wisdom in the business,
Right.
and you have people to bounce off of, I just was talking about fellowship with people, how important it is to have other people around you that you admire, that you can be in fellowship with and community with, and actually bounce off of how that helps you to be better and ultimately overcome tough situations, because we always see difficult situations in this business.
Sure.
But okay, so I want to get into your niche. Every time I've ever talked about having a niche or a niche, I always go through the same conversation
Right.
because everybody says it different. But tomato. So you have such a unique business.
Right.
In fact, let me back up a little bit. When I went out to Arizona a few years ago, Ben took me on a tour of his area, which one of the things I've done for years, working in a physician community here, is I take people on community tours when they come to the area for one of the local hospital networks. And that's been my niche in the business, has been healthcare. Great niche to have, by the way.
Of course.
So I go out, Ben takes me on a community tour, and it was mind-blowing, like just the growth of his area. And I'll never forget, you drove me through neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood where they were building house after house after house.
Yeah.
And you were explaining how, they lay the first 6 foundations, or I could be off of my numbers, but then the framers come in while they're laying the next 6, and so they're just constantly building. Not by the hundreds, but thousands and thousands of homes.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah, it's crazy. So wait, who are the big companies that are out there that were building in your area?
Every major builder in America is in the Phoenix market.
Yep. But then also you
Del
have
Webb's, the Pulte's, the Meritage, the Taylor Morrison's, you name it. They're all there.
but you also, the big companies that are driving the growth is like your Facebooks, your Apple, Google,
Facebook, Google,
LG,
Boeing, LG, Intel.
Yeah, so you've got a couple of big companies out there, right? The other crazy thing to me is you drove me around your area was seeing the commercial construction.
Right.
I've never seen commercial construction going up like that.
I haven't either, actually.
No, you haven't.
No.
Well, how many people lived in the community you're in when you first moved there?
Well, in 1980, this Gilbert, where we moved to, I think had a population of 1,100. And now
it's
that
what
surrounding
today?
area's got to be the three little cities combined, probably 600,000.
That is wild to me.
I think they built 28 new schools in that town since we've been there.
That is just
One school district.
that is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
I told you there's
definitely
550 new home communities in Phoenix to choose from.
550.
That's sets of models.
Okay, so you have a background in new construction,
Right.
but you have, like you said earlier, you had 30 some new construction homes under contract at one time, but this has really become a niche for you. Not just new construction, but specifically taking one community and absolutely owning it.
Right.
So talk to me a
was a
little
challenge.
bit. Yeah, I'm sure it was. But talk to me. Explain to the audience how or what your specific deal is, because that was one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen. So talk to me
It's
about
very
the
unique.
golf course community.
Well, that came about from the EPA created the Energy Star for Homes program in like 1997. They started that in Phoenix. I got involved with a gentleman that I've got great respect for. He's been a mentor of mine for many, many years. He started that program for the EPA. So I was kind of side by side with him for years. Then I started, as the EPA was making changes to building processes, insulation, windows, air conditioning systems, framing techniques, indoor air quality, all those factors. I went around for his company and I toured every single major builder sales meeting every Friday for a year, explaining to them what was going to change, how it was going to change. So I started relationships, and I knew so many people in it because I sold 400 homes,
Right.
new homes. That got into that, and then I this one builder that I would take a Greyhound bus full of realtors out, and half of them would go in the models and get their free lunch and tour the models. The other half, we'd take them out in the construction and show them how equipment for testing ductwork and insulation and air quality was used. Very interesting.
Yeah.
And then this builder called me someday and said, hey, we have a new community. It was in 2007. Market was struggling. He says, we have all these people that need to do contingencies, which is another factor today, as we know.
Yep.
And we just can't get any of them done. The realtors are failing like crazy. And the GM would call me and say, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you look up this house? I was like, look, hey, I can't. I need to go look at the house. I can't tell
Right.
you. I get on the phone and say, there's no way this is going to work. You're going to lose this contingency. It's dirty. It's cluttered. Photos are bad. And then after about 15 of those, they said, hey, when you want to come in, we have an idea. We'd like for you to run a program for us. And that's how we got invited in. That's what happened. So we decided at that point Phoenix is a massive area, as you know.
Yep.
We were selling homes in an area that was 150 miles across in every single
goodness.
city. I drove some days 500 miles selling homes.
Oh my goodness.
I go to the White Mountains, go to North Scottsdale, back to South Phoenix, and run around. And then we just say, well, maybe we can run a successful business in this 1.5 square miles and not run over the valley, and we did that. So it's been we worked under a license agreement with a national major builder,
Yep. but
we've done over 600 transactions in that 1.5 square miles, which is a lot.
Which
Which is great because sometimes our agents they can park their car and show 6 homes and
Right.
not get back in the car. Because we have listings all over the place and all the other there's
Right.
other agents that have listings there, but we have a huge buyer pool.
over 16 or over 600 transactions
Right.
in a 1.5 square mile.
Some homes we sold
Radius.
4 times, the same ones.
That's
is
amazing.
interesting.
So one of the things I found
It's like,
fascinating.
hey, when you come to sell my house, we sold your house twice. I know everything about it.
Right. Exactly. That makes it a lot
you
easier.
mean I sold
doesn't
our
it?
house? Yeah, so and so used to live there, and so, they bought it. And it's very interesting.
Yeah, that's amazing. So with this, one of the things I love that I thought was a brilliant idea, and it just in my market it doesn't work. Wherever you're listening to this, it might
Yeah.
work in your market, but we don't have that kind of construction here in the greater Dayton, greater Cincinnati markets. But one of the things that was fascinating to me was your builder, the builder that you're working with
Right.
builds 6 or 7 models all on one little street.
There was actually 18 models in there to begin with.
18 models. Sorry, I was off on that number.
Beautiful.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it really was. And every single one of them, you walked me through
Yeah.
many out there. They were incredible. But your office is actually in one of the models,
Right.
which
Very unique.
I think it's incredibly unique. But I think for agents nowadays, if they want to think outside the box, they do connect with a builder and
Yes.
do things creatively with a builder that opens up opportunities. Because when you've sold 600 homes in a 1.5 square mile radius,
Right.
those people moved from outside of that radius. How
Sure.
many additional transactions did that lead to?
Hundreds.
Right.
Yeah.
More than you can probably count.
Yeah.
Right.
And we've missed the boat on many of those. We just teach, we didn't have the staff to handle all that. But now that's part of our business mindset now of Alina basically is focusing on everyone outside of the community. So we get hundreds of leads from the new home sales team from the builder.
Right.
And with our license agreement, if they don't like what's inside this community, we can take them anywhere else in the valley and sell them a home.
Yeah.
So
and
that's like
do you
5,500 leads in our database from the sales team.
So
Staggering
are you
number.
only focused on the leads from your builder, or are you in constant communication, consistent and systematic communication with your entire sphere of influence still?
Mostly in the one community.
Okay.
We really focus on that. So we own the Facebook page. There's 2,400 homes. We have 2,400 members on the Facebook page. So we have an app for the community as well. So with the app, you can get in, you can log in golf tee times and book restaurants and get to the spa and all of our service providers
Did
on
you
there.
develop the app or sponsor the app? How did that work?
We had someone develop it for us.
Okay.
It's the best marketing tool I've ever seen.
So
People love the apps, by the way. The apps are everywhere.
They do. What kind of, because apps can be cost prohibitive. Like,
Yeah.
I know people have spent over $100,000 on apps. Maybe
Yeah.
you did too. But what?
Not in this case.
How did you do it? Did you hire a firm to do that
A
for
client of ours that moved from Missouri, he has a business that does doing that, and he wanted to give us like a trial to see how it would go. Now it's blowing up for him.
you? Okay.
So it's very popular. I think the apps is the way to go. As a matter of fact, I'm considering eliminating our websites completely and just going
And
with
just
the apps.
sticking with the apps.
Right. It's simple. It's easy to navigate. Everyone likes the apps. No one likes to look through the Facebook. I mean, the Facebook pages, yes, but a website anymore, I just don't think we get the traction on that.
Okay.
So the app's set up too, where we have all of our service providers. And like if you're a contractor for our team, when anyone in the community, if they request a bid from the contractor, we know that they requested a bid from you. I can follow up with them and say, hey, how'd the conversation with Mark go?
Yep.
Follow up with you and say, hey, did you contact them yet?
Yep.
So it's just a great
It's accountability.
system. It's accountability, yes.
Which I think, my years in the business, I've found more and more the accountability with my contractors to my clients reflects directly on me. So
Sure.
So that's
When I refer anyone
too.
to a client, because of my background in residential construction,
Yep.
I always go to the home. A lot of our clients in Phoenix are second and third homeowners, especially in a country club community.
Right.
So before I say yes or no, I go look at the work and say, Mark, go ahead and pay. It looks good. Or no, don't pay them yet. I'm going to blue tape this and give them a list of things done. I'll come back again. And people like that accountability.
Right, because you are actually stepping in on behalf of your client
Sure.
to help protect them.
No fee, no charge, part of our service.
Right.
Yeah.
That's professionalism.
Right.
Yeah.
Going to the next level.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, a lot of people don't like that, real estate. How many calls can I make? How many deals can I get? But they're always looking for new deals.
Right.
So our deals are coming from referrals and within.
Right. So how many transactions will you guys do this year?
I don't know the total. We should hit 45 million in volume, just
Okay.
2 team members.
It's not a bad year.
No, it's not bad.
Right. And that's with you not even, if you were a full-time agent still out there,
Yeah, I would
giving
know.
it 50 hours a week,
Right.
you'd probably be doing
50,
more
like
than that.
part-time, you're saying.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, I work part-time.
Yeah.
There's 24 hours in a day.
But the team does incredible work. They're the top of the top.
Yeah.
If you had 10 TJs, we could all retire.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find someone of that caliber, too.
So talk to the team leads out there, because obviously you've built a successful team. You've kept it small on purpose.
You used to have a large team, 15, 18 people.
Okay. Why'd you cut back?
Because we make 4 times the amount of money now with 3 people.
Right. I actually I
You
was
can
at a
focus
conference.
more on individuals and get them to the level you want them to be.
Yeah.
Such a turnover in the business anyway. Different market where I'm at, honestly.
Yeah.
You have massive teams in the Phoenix market that
Oh,
are
I'm
doing
sure.
$100 million a year. Those teams that close a home every single day.
But if you think about that, what I've seen so much over the years is that you have these teams and they have 10 people on their team,
Right.
and they're doing 20 million. But then me with my one buyer's agent and my great transaction coordinator, we're doing 19 million, right? And so these teams have all of these agents that are basically non-producing agents, and when you trim the fat, sometimes everyone makes more, and you're actually a lot more efficient than trying to manage all of these people out here.
But if anyone ever asks me if I want to jump into real estate, yes, go join a team.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Go jump in a training environment with a company that's high level training, professionalism. Go to a team. You're going to learn a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, they should stay there anyway, because that's where they're going to make the money.
Yeah.
It's like a Shark Tank deal.
Right.
You're shaking your ass like, take the deal. It's
Yeah,
20%. Give them 50. You're still going to make multi-millions.
Well, that's if it's a well-run team, right? There's a
True.
lot of teams that aren't running. They're not well-oiled, let's say, and so you do get a lot of people who cycle through the team. I've seen this a lot over the years. I saw it in my own team years ago, where people would come in, they would expect more of it. I find a lot of people want all of the business generated for them.
True.
And I think when you come into the business, especially as a young agent or a new agent, you have to go and hunt, right? You have to go out. You have to talk to people. You have to generate your own leads on top of, if it's a good team will provide the leads for you.
Well, the lead, too, another part of that, too, as a new agent, it's kind of interesting because if you jump into insurance, real estate, mortgage broker, it's going to take your family, friends, your top level people around you. They're not going to work with you for the first 3 years.
Right.
Because they want to make sure that you're serious about it. Hey, I just got my insurance license. Will you change your 9 policies to me? No, Mike, I can't do that right now. Because you kind of know what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Well, and the fallout rate is, 85% in the first 5 years don't make it in the
But
business.
here's the team structure that's a failure to me from learning. The model is that, and I get it, the rainmaker takes the majority.
Mm-hmm.
And the splits are so, honestly, unfair to the buyers and sellers agents. That's why you have a rotating door. I changed that 15 years ago. I upped my splits big time for the agents. And then I went a new direction, which blew people away. I started paying my agents $24,000 a year in salary and offering
Really?
401ks.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Then you have an agent that you're paying them a salary. You expect them to be around, 35, 40 hours a week.
Right.
So otherwise, hey, I'm going to be in real estate. Tuesdays and Saturdays aren't good. I have a babysit somebody's dog on Wednesday afternoons. Got kids, other than that. But when you pay them a salary, the return, and top agents have asked me, how did that work out? And it's the best thing I've ever done.
So they're not independent contractors. They are employees.
Yeah.
So you can make a demand on their time.
Sure. And you offer them a 401k, which you can't get in real estate ever.
Yeah.
I mean, there are very few realtors that get a salary and a 401k on a team.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it works very well.
How does that affect their splits? With you?
Not really. It came out of my pocket just because it was a win-win.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's how you got the best production out of your team.
And then you take new agents too. That I don't care if they're brand new or some experience. $24,000 a year gives them play money and helps them make their house payment, car payment. Then it can really focus on business versus chasing money.
Okay.
So worked out.
That's great.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's
great.
a great environment for people to track it. That would be a change in the industry like it's never been seen before.
Yeah.
But the top agents, to me, that's a total win-win. You would have no turnover because I don't have turnover at all, other than ones that don't work out. But normally it does.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great concept. That's a good takeaway for me.
Yeah.
I mean, as someone that has had a team for many years, and then I've really scaled back to where it's me and my dad with, I did recently add one team member, but for the most part, it's just been me the last few years, you know. I'm also building a brokerage too, right? So so I have a big team,
That's time
right?
consuming.
I have employees and everything else, but that is hearing you say that, it's like a a little bit of a paradigm shift in my mind because I think one of the biggest things I see people get in the business, biggest fallacy in the business is I'm going to control my time. I want to have control of my time.
Work-life balance?
Right. That we're at.
That's the under 40 crowd.
Okay. Yeah. Right. I guess I'm over 40, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
No, but the reality is you don't control your time when you get in this business. You can, but you've got to be very disciplined.
You can and you should. Like, I changed my voicemail every single day for like 15 years.
Did you really?
Every morning. This is who I am, what I'm doing today, what time I'm returning calls. And everyone knew that it was after 7 p.m. There was no chance I would call them back. I said, if it's a matter of fact, at one point, someone asked me to change this. I was like, hey, it's Ben. If this is real estate related, leave me a message. If it's a true emergency, hang up and call 911.
That's great. I had a coach actually at a point where it was prime of my career, doing the most transactions. It was around my $45 million year that I did. I had a coach tell me, Mark, you're going to run yourself into the ground. And she actually made me put together a communication plan, very similar to what you just said, and my clients would sign it. And what it basically said was, I'm available until 7 p.m. Yeah. If you need to reach me after 7 p.m., please send me emergency, and I will call you back. Text me emergency, and I will call you back.
Yeah, there are none.
And we know no one ever texted me emergency, right?
If you set the standards up front, it's easy to control your business. Just like we have a situation, it's hard to control your team members. Like, hey, please don't send an email out at 5:15 in the morning because they're going to expect you to respond to one at 5:15 in the morning.
Right.
Set them all up. Now it's easy. Automatically go out. Send them to go out at 8:15.
Yep.
You can type all night long and send them at 8:15. They'll never know any better.
Yep.
But that's the way to control it.
Okay, so this brings me to one of the questions that I kind of like to ask everybody. Do you have a daily routine or a morning routine that you go through every day?
Yes, I analyze. The first thing I do in the morning is I analyze all of our business. I look at all of our listings, photos, competition, communication between titles, since we just changed title companies.
Yep.
All the components going back and forth. I jump into market. I look at stocks, bonds, money. And I try to tell agents that if you can't go into someone's home in today's challenging market, and if someone says, hey, what do you think the market's going to do in 12 months? If you just say, well, I'm just not really sure, you have no credibility. I go in and quote stocks, bonds, 10-year treasury notes, what it means historically over 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, what the market's going to be, interest rates, which to me are non-factor today.
Right.
Debt is the issue in today's market, not interest rates.
Yeah. Well, where are you going to study your market every day? To get that information, to study the 10-year treasury, where are you going to get that information?
Well, I got my coffee, my iPad, my phone, and my TV.
Yeah.
And I watch all the business channels.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not a left or right thing for me. It's just business. I like to hear what everyone has to say, and I make notes for that, and it helps tremendously because I can go into any appointment. And really, in today's world, you're kind of the market's challenging everywhere.
Yeah.
And I tell people that you have to be, in today's world, a combination of a Dr. Phil and a Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How's that working for you? But you have to know finance because sometimes I talk people out of moving. Here's a question. Mark, what do you own your home? What do you plan to buy? How much money do you have in savings? Is this a good fit for you? And I go through the financial part and say, hey, I think this makes sense. Or I say, no, I don't think this makes sense at all. You should stay here.
Yep.
There's not many people who do that.
Well,
but I'll get 10 times the referrals from that conversation as I will throw in a sign in.
Well, and you hit on a key point that I followed majority of my career, and that is what is right for the client. And I think if you take care of people, people will always take care of you in your business. But most of us, like you did the first part of your career, early on, we're chasing the money. And so it's what's right for me and not always what's right for the client.
Even back then, I still, people say, hey, I want to buy with this builder. I said, I don't think we should do that. Here's the reputation they have. And they said, you want to buy with this builder? Come with me. Let's go into home and construction. Let me tell you why you don't want to buy here.
Yeah.
Lack of insulation, lack of framing techniques, poor quality of windows. And that's the things I've always looked at that has built my business.
Yeah.
So even back then, when I was chasing deals, I was still talking more people out of homes than most realtors into homes.
Yeah.
Just because of my knowledge of the market.
You became a trusted expert, i.e., a professional in everything.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I do. Okay, so back to the question in terms of daily routine. What would you say is your most important daily habit that for you personally?
Get up. Go to work.
Show up.
Yeah. So I saw a realtor friend of mine, major power realtor. He's like, how to turn $40 into $400? Get up, go fill your car full of gas, and go to work.
Yep. That's right.
Make it happen. So I think the daily routines change, but right now it's just monitoring my business every single day.
Yeah.
On the backside, which is good.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I'm not sending that
point...
many 8-page emails to my team anymore.
Right.
Occasionally, because I'm just sitting back and monitoring and kind of getting a feel for what's going on.
Yeah.
To see, are they really ready to take over the business, which I believe they are.
Yep.
So hopefully this year.
Well, they've learned from the best.
Well, I'm not the best, but they've learned.
Well, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah. They've learned something. How's that?
Yeah, and but that's not on accident. You did that on purpose.
Yeah, true. Everything I do is on purpose.
Right.
Over the top sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, so let me hit you with a few questions. Some of this might be personal, but I want to know who's been the greatest influence on your life and career. The person that you would say, if it weren't for this individual, I wouldn't be here today.
Today it's you.
Yeah, right? Okay. Well, yeah, okay.
There's many. When you're in business, as long as I've been, there's many people that jump in front of you and, that make an impact. I think probably my father, Navy career guy, some discipline in the house. But one thing he told me, again, which wouldn't go over well with the 40 under crowd today, it's like he grabbed my hand before I got married and he says, your job and your career is the most important thing in your life. He says, if it's not, nothing will fall into place. He said, don't forget that. And I've just kind of followed that rule.
Yep.
So I think that was great advice. Today's world, too, of a life balance, I get that. But still, he says, if you don't support your family and your kids don't have the nice matching shoes that their friends do, there's not going to be much respect in the family.
Yeah.
And do that now. And we have 12 grandchildren, 19 of us all together.
Well, and yeah, you've had a successful marriage,
yeah.
Right? How many years have you and Vicki been married?
107.
Yeah, when you talk about the over 40 crowd,
41.
he's like 41 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, I know was Vicki in real estate before you?
No.
She wasn't.
Yeah,
okay.
maybe like 34 days.
Okay, so you guys both got around
just
the same
quit our
time.
jobs and said we can do this. Let's start a company.
Okay.
So we actually, we moved to Phoenix. We own 2 businesses here, one in Springboro, one in Miamisburg. We sold those, and we moved to Arizona with 3 children, with no plan, no job, no future. Let's just figure it out.
How has real estate, though, over the years affected your marriage?
It's tough because we've been side by side for all this time. She's basically been our broker or our acting broker. So it's sometimes a challenge, but we work very well together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen that.
She's great on the backside of the technology and she's kind of held it together for us for many years.
Is she also about to get into retirement, or
She's kind of been retired.
She's in there,
for
yeah.
a couple of years. Yeah.
You've let her do that.
Yeah.
If you could go back to your first year in the business, how would you, or what advice would you give yourself?
Simple. Have a business plan.
Yep. Okay. We
Written plan.
did touch on that earlier.
There's nothing else you can do.
Yep.
You'll fail without it.
Okay. I love it. What does, we talk about ultimate success on this show, and when it comes to ultimate success, I believe that's a life well lived. I think you and I were talking before the show about you've spoken at 4 funerals or 3 funerals.
Several.
Yeah,
Too
here
many.
recently, and I know one of those is Vicki's dad.
Right.
That obviously I was privileged to get to help. But what does ultimate success look like for you in your life, and how's that changed over the years?
Boy, I think same thing I always talk about. Success earlier was about making money. And then once you get to a certain point, like now, what matters more to me now is taking care of people.
Yeah.
Having a good reputation. People speak highly of you. You know, that's success.
And you have grandbabies too, right?
Yes.
And that's
A whole bunch.
yeah, 12 of them you
12.
said? Which, I mean, that's got to be like the best place in life, right?
Yeah, it is. Until Christmas time.
Yeah, right, because it gets real expensive.
Yeah,
Then you're back to needing to make money.
Yeah. Then I'm out selling new homes again.
Yeah, right. Coming out of retirement for
Yeah.
that season. So, what lesson have you learned through your life that was very hard that you wish someone had warned you about?
I think this is true for anyone today, that anyone that I consult with that's younger today, 18 years old, is start investing, 401ks, buy property, buy land, and hold and wait.
Yep.
If I would have done that. And I was buying properties at 18. I was buying HUD properties, believe it or not, in Dayton when I was 18 years old. Had no idea what I was doing, but it worked out. So to me, that's it. I think the things have worked out well for us, but had we been pushed to plan earlier when we were younger, it would be a whole different scenario today.
Yeah. Well, I think I know for me, when I was young, people laid out the plan, you know, and now it's funny because my son's 22. At 22, same age as my son, I was graduating from college. I started a career with Pfizer, went to the financial advisor, got all the advice, invest in your Roth IRAs, do all this.
Did you do it?
No, I actually, when the market crashed in '08, I sold off all my investments to survive, you know, and I didn't. And now I'm telling my son, listen to this advice, because when you're 46 years old, your life will be totally different. You know?
I have some friends locally, actually, won't name any names, but, you know, ran into a gentleman, like, I wasn't thinking, I said, oh, okay, he's doing okay, right? And we were sitting down, and he said, you know my dad? I said, yeah. And I said, well, he said, I'm retired. And I said, good for you. And he said, yeah, my dad told me to start putting away 15% when I was young, and he worked at a very average company, not making a lot of money. He said, I did that. He says, I got over $1 million in my 401k.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
It's
good.
one of those things, I can't afford to do it. And I tell people, you can't afford not to do it.
Right.
Figure it out.
Right.
But today, you know, we don't, you know, when we were young doing that, we didn't have $300 iPhones and all these different service providers and all this stuff.
Where did you buy a $300 iPhone?
$300 per month.
Oh, okay. Whew. 'Cause I was gonna be like, whoa, man, you got a cheap iPhone.
So
you buy
yeah,
that used?
and like my daughters, I'm all over them about the importance of investing and why and all that.
Yeah. So if you weren't in real estate, which it's interesting asking you this question because you're pretty much to the place where you're not going to be full-time in real estate anymore, hitting that retirement place. But like, what's the next life passion you want to pursue? Because you're not.
I think I want to
quit.
run for president. I have some great ideas.
Oh, hey, how about you got my vote? You need a donation now? No.
I don't know what I would do. Probably related to building of some type.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I was a general contractor younger, but it's hard to say.
Yeah.
You never know. Could have gone a different direction.
But it's obviously a passion. I mean, you've made almost your whole real estate career on new construction, on building, on, you know, that.
Without
side
that
of the
level of
business.
knowledge, I would have not had the success I have today.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's obvious through everything that you've talked about. You talk about knowledge, expertise, skill, service, all of this wrapped, you know, put it all in one big package, and it comes down to the word that you've used many times, and that's professionalism.
Right.
And that is, man, if there's any takeaways that I could like throw out there, it's like, what does it mean to be a professional? And I think Ben just exemplifies professionalism in everything that you've heard through that. And so I know I've always had such, since just 2 or 3 years, 3-4 years
had
maybe.
a great relationship.
We've known each other. I just hold you in such high regard. It's been such an honor to have you on the show. Any last thoughts? If you were going to leave our audience with something to help them be as successful as you've been, what's the last thing you want to say to them?
I think for agents in general and brokers, I don't care what market you're in, people ask me, what's the market like? And so the market's great if you have a home like the Property Brothers, because that's what everyone watches.
Yep.
Any home that's a wow factor in any market, regardless of the market, will sell at top dollar. And the failure I see not only in Phoenix but locally here where people go in and put a sign in the yard. If you can convince, and this is something else we've done as well, like, hey, your home needs $10,000 worth of repairs to get to top dollar. Why don't I have $10,000? I'll cover it up front.
Wow.
You sign a document, you can reimburse me at closing. I'll pay for all the repairs. But you need carpet, you need paint. You know, like my cousin's house that you sold.
Yep.
We went in and 6 months worth of time, right? Restain the entire deck, fix everything, put carpet. What happened? We got almost $100,000 more than what we originally talked about.
Premium price.
So to me, that's the professionalism that's missing.
Yep.
Brokers and team leaders need to start at the bottom, get away from the paperwork process, and teach people how to have incredible looking listings, because that's what every buyer wants.
Yep.
So otherwise, you're going to be days on the market or extend. Price drops going to change, and price drops, by the way, as you know, are massive today.
Yeah, I just read an article today that price drops are up 43% year over year in our market.
Right.
And so,
you know what some of that fault is? It's the fault of the agents.
right, it is.
If they would go in and do what we do, and these homes are crazy looking, you could keep that market up.
Yep.
To me, that's the biggest wow factor that I can get out of the market today. Why are we not going to the next level for service?
Yeah.
You know,
I love it.
that's it, buddy.
Ben, thanks for being with us today. You're the first official guest in
I
this
hope I'm
whole.
not the last.
No, you won't. You won't be. You won't be. But I will probably have you back on again in the future as you're in town, especially because I love having you in studio. But guys, thanks for joining us today. We look forward to doing more of this. We want to help you be better, help you be more professionals, but really, I want to help you live your best life and achieve ultimate success. So have a great week. We'll see you.